So you have all these programs that are basically spamming. Like, even though that they're doing it in a better way, it's still spam, right? So
Mhm.
they're not social selling, and so it's really made LinkedIn very muddy.
Hi, David. How are you today?
Very good. You?
Good, good. So, you know what? We hear about sales enablement. What does that even mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of sort of subcategories within that term, but from where we come at it is we focus on technology using a CRM, you know, getting the most efficiency and sales performance, revenue attainment in utilizing a CRM and process. Because you can have the best tools, you can have the best people, but if you don't have the right process in place, you're going to get very limited growth.
So,
So,
it's really about the process, right?
absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
what it comes down to. So, where do you see sales teams and companies go wrong? Like, how do you know where the issue begins? How do you assess that?
We start with data analysis. So, really looking at the data in the CRM, that can really tell a very vivid picture of what's actually going on. It can look at how leads are coming in, how they're being handled, how long it's taking a salesperson to reach out to them. How are they being reached out to? Is there any follow up after the first follow up? Close rate, does the CRM represent your ideal customer profile, right? There's so many data points that really say, okay, this is working, this is not working, this process doesn't make any sense. Your prospects are having a very poor experience, once they come in and then looking at your revenue goals, right? Like, so it's everything, right? And then from
Mhm.
there you can build a plan and strategy and determine how you move forward.
Yeah, and so when you go in, what's the first sign that something's off? Like, how do you determine, you know what, something's off and we need to fix it? What are some cues that something is off?
Yeah, so if a sales leader is saying that their salespeople are complaining there's not enough inbound leads,
Hmm.
and we go in and we see that there are some high quality prospects, like good companies, that fit their demographics, and they're not even being worked. Like, no one's even reached out to them. So that's when we start to say, okay, there's definitely a major problem here, because what we're being told by the sales leader and what they perceive to be the problem is actually not the problem. Though that's just one of many storylines, right, that we see. It could be anything, really.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. And so, where do you see, like, how does social media fit into this picture, right? Because more and more individuals are leaning towards social media. They don't want to deal with the phones. How does that fit into all of this?
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about
Lead
utilizing,
generation, lead
yeah.
generation.
So obviously social selling is a very, has been evolving and is a major source for lead generation. The problem is there's not a lot of salespeople who know how to do lead gen. Maybe they watch some YouTube videos. I don't know if they've been properly trained, but they're probably doing what a lot of salespeople are doing is they're going in to LinkedIn if they're a B2B company and they're hunting. They're not providing any value, and then they're basically trying to ask for a meeting, right? Where
Hmm.
you know their ideal customer profile is saying, okay, yeah, I get your value prop, but I get 10 of these a day.
Right.
So why, like, you're just spam to me. That's where social selling is not being done properly. I don't even know what the stat is, but I would guess that out of all the salespeople using LinkedIn, it's probably not a very high percentage who are doing social selling the right way.
I see a ton of bots, right?
Yeah, there are services that basically where a program, it's like a chatbot, right? So you
Hmm.
provide your content for reaching out to, say, your director of finance or your CFOs, and you try to make the conversation sound very casual and real. and they do hundreds to thousands of approaches. They try to keep it below the threshold line so they won't get red flagged by LinkedIn. So you have all these programs that are basically spamming. Like, even though that they're doing it in a better way, it's still spam, right? So they're not social selling. And so it's really made LinkedIn very muddy, because the likelihood of a prospect willing to actually entertain someone on LinkedIn goes down dramatically. I do still think LinkedIn is a great place to prospect, but it just requires some nuances on how to do it properly.
And then along with this whole process is good training, right?
Yeah.
Good sales training. So you can have all the processes you want in place, but if individuals are not trained properly, then, these two areas go hand in hand. So does Pulsion take care of sales training as well, or is it just on the CRM side?
We do sales training based on sales enablement, so on process, procedures, how to utilize the technology. We use a lot of HubSpot CRM just because it's very simple, easy to align to organizations that are looking for something simple, opposed to a Salesforce that requires configuration, which can be very costly. We're not dealing with Fortune 500 companies. We're dealing with more like 10 million to 100 million type of companies, where they just need something really simple, easy to use. If you're an organization looking for actual sales training, that's not us, but there are really good sales training companies that can provide that here.
That would be Prospect to Win, right?
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, right? Because we do a lot of sales training, customer service related stuff, all telephone related stuff and beyond, right? I'm not going to list them here right now. No, that's great. And so if I can just end off by asking, what is the best place for companies and individuals to reach out to you, David? Where can they find you?
Yeah, they can find us on LinkedIn. You can just type in David Sahly. You could go to our website, gopulsion.io. Probably links in this video.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.